Hey guys, if you're watching this video, you were probably absent or maybe just looking for a couple of hints on the assignments or getting ready for a test. Look, an equation, all it is a math problem with an equal sign in it. And the goal is to get that variable on one side of that equal sign by itself. Okay, so that's the number one thing that we're going to be looking at here today. And we're not looking at really incredibly hard equations. We're looking at just equations that have addition and subtraction in it. This is what I mean when I'll tell you to isolate the variable. That means we want to get that variable all by itself. And then the one rule, which in 7th grade you've seen this already, the one rule, what you do to one side, you have to do the same thing to the other side. And the reason that is think of the equation as a balanced scale, okay? Think of it as a balanced scale. Let's just kind of pull this up here. There we go. If we have a perfectly balanced equation and the equal sign is right in the middle, if I add 5 to this left side is going to get heavier. And so to keep it balanced on this equation, we'd have to add 5 to this side at the same time. Okay? So let's jump straight into it. How do you get a solution for it, a number that actually makes the equation true? Equations solved by using addition. We're going to solve by adding the opposite to both sides, okay? Both sides of the equation. And so we've got two of them here to look at right here. X plus 8 equals negative 14. Always find your variable. We want to isolate this variable. We want this x all by itself. So that means this plus 8 needs to go away. So if you find the variable, then basically you can ignore what's on the other side of the equal sign, okay? And just go, hey, I got to get rid of that 8. If it's adding 8, all I want you to do is add the exact opposite of 8. So just add plus negative 8. And then once we do it to one side of the equation, we go to the other side of the equal sign, and we do this exact same thing over here. We don't say plus 14. We say, well, since we added plus negative 8 on this side, we're going to add plus negative 8 on the other side. You do not have to put the negative in parentheses, but sometimes it helps to see that it's a negative. So now this x is all by itself. The equal sign drops straight down, and this x can cheat over a little bit closer to the equal sign since nothing's in front of it now. That makes it a little easier to see. And negative 14 plus negative 8 is negative 22. And so at this point, what you really need to do is you need to find out, is this the right answer? You're saying x equals negative 22. So in your head, make this x negative 22. And then add 8 to it, because that is what the equation is doing. And if this indeed equals negative 14, we know we have the right answer. If we messed up and we said like, hey, the answer was negative 23, then what would have happened is that it wouldn't have gotten us negative 14 for the answer. It would have gotten us negative 15. And I would have said, oh, I've made a mistake. So that's how we check it. Let's come over here to this one. Again, where is your variable? Isolate this variable. So we don't care about that side. How about we just go ahead and add the opposite? What is this number that's being added to x? Negative 15. So just add positive 15. And then go to the other side of the equal sign and do the exact same thing. Now, negative 15 plus 15 is 0. That brings the x straight down all by itself. There's nothing over here. There's a 0. What's 0 going to do to x? It's adding to it, so nothing. And negative 12 plus 15 is 3. Let's go check it and see if we've got it right. Does negative 15 plus 3 really equal negative 12? Yep. So we know that we're right there. But what about equations that have the subtraction symbol in there? They're not adding a number, they're subtracting a number. Well, I want you to make the two little lines, or basically we've said keep, change to make it into an addition equation. Essentially, we're going to add the opposite. So keep this one, change, and change. You've seen it over and over and over again where we were working with adding and subtracting integers, right? So that becomes x plus negative 14. So now treat this, see, solve by adding the opposite to both sides of the equation. We're allowed to turn any subtraction into adding the opposite, and that's what that's basically helping us do, so we know it's a true setup. And so there is our variable on the left side. That means we don't care about the negative 2. We want to get rid of that negative 14. So please just add positive 14 to both sides. Again, the equal sign would fall straight down, but since this is 0 and there's no need to write 0, we're going to cheat the x over a little bit closer to the equal sign. And negative 2 plus 14 is positive 12. So let's just take a second here and see if 12 plus negative 14 really equals negative 2. There's the problem put in there, and again, yep, there's proof right there that it's negative 2. And what I'm showing you on the calculator, that's what I'm hoping you do in your head to check to see if you have the right answer. Okay, let's go take a look at this one. Again, this is an equation where it has subtraction, so keep, change, change, right? We don't care about this over here. We care about where we find the variable, and we need to get rid of this. Now we've turned it into adding a negative 6. What's the opposite of negative 6? Plus 6. So negative 6 plus 6 is 0. That lets us be able to bring the x straight down. The equal sign can come straight down. But now we have to take this plus 6 and put it over on the left side. So if that was confusing you that the variable was on the right side to start the problem, don't worry about it. We treat it the same way. This is what we want to get by itself. Get rid of the subtraction by turning it into adding the opposite. Keep, change, change. That's where we got the plus 6 from, to make that go away. And then just do it to the other side. So we're left with negative 12. That is the right answer, and that's how you solve these equations.